last week because I love it.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Ori. Today it's Monday, and it is July 11th, and I get to see you. And I want to welcome you to Coffee with Ori because it is very important that we keep in touch and that we connect each and every Monday, if possible. To all of you, I wish you a good evening. And today's subject is going to be about when you know what you know. When when I talk about when you know what you know, it's basically about hi Yete, how are you? It's basically about listening to that intuition of yours. And for you guys who have any questions, just feel free to ask, please. When you know what you know is basically something that I learned. For you guys who don't know, not that it's important, not to me, but to those people that I love. I want to thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. Uh, Here, sitting around, 56 years old, feeling fabulous. And I want to thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. Now, one of the things that the reason that I chose this topic, when you know what you know, is because there are a lot of you that are super spiritual and super knowledgeable, and God speaks to people in different ways. Whether you want to call God, the spirit, the angels, the guides, the universe, or you want to call it Christ, whatever it is, there is no right and there is no wrong. But you need to understand that when you hear that certain voice in your head or in your gut that talks to you and tells you that something is wrong, follow it. When you feel like something, like you're going in the wrong direction by being upset or by being angry, you're really not focusing and you're not listening. And part of knowing what you know is by being still, by focusing, by keeping your mind in a place of peace and tranquility so that the voice, the God voice that lives within you, can talk to you and tell you if you're doing something right or you're doing something wrong. Religiously, in some aspects or another, people get involved with people and they believe that because they get involved with someone or someone comes into their life, that their ideal to deal with these people is to sleep with them or feel like they came into your life for a reason, and your reasoning is, well, maybe they're going to be my mate, or maybe I'm supposed to be with them, or maybe this or maybe that. In reality, and I say we because I did it. I've done it in the past, thinking that, well, this is the person for me. And then I realized months down the line that I become, what's the word? Um, I've become resentful towards the person. And what I realize is that sometimes these people come into your life, but it's only for you to help them, for you to try to guide them, for you to try to do the best thing you can do for them and nothing more. It has nothing to do with anything else except that. As a spiritual being, we are all healers. Again, like I said, we all have a gift. If you are an artist, you can paint a picture, and that picture you can give to someone, and that will make them feel good. Maybe you are a shopper like me. I love to shop. And sometimes I may find something that I like for someone, and I give it to them, and that makes their day. Sometimes, you can create things like I can create soap and make, products just like Dr. D, and I can create shampoos and spiritual baths. And when I do that and I give it to people that I really care about, I find myself in a space of bliss and tranquility because I did something good. I did something kind. I did something that made me feel good because I know that in my soul and in my heart, what I did because Spirit guided me to do so, and it felt good to do so. And this is why I'm telling you all that you have to learn to do what it is that you feel like doing, to be as kind as you want to be as nurturing as you want to be as filled with love and understanding as you want to gather a lot of things within your heart and soul that you feel proud of. You cannot be afraid to express that inner spirituality that you have. It's not going against God, and it's not going against what we have been taught, because when people have listened to their inner self, what has happened is along the years is it has become a witch hunt, and therefore the churches, or let's just say the mother church, which was the Catholic Church at the time, and then the Church of England, then they became the witch hunt, because far after the Church of England became the Church of England, they believed in witchcraft, and they believed in witches, and they believed in divination, and they believed in all that. You know, it wasn't it wasn't until the Church of England got involved in having war with Ireland and all these other countries, that it became a witch hunt for people, for midwives, because they were considered being witches. They believed that if a baby girl was born instead of a boy, that the doula at that time, the midwife, was responsible for the child. If the child was born with a stain, or the child was born with Down syndrome, automatically they were blamed. The witches were blamed, and they weren't witches; they were midwives. People they used the Bible, and they used religion and high priest in the church to make them feel like their intuition was evil, that the intuition was the works of a spirit that was not of the church. It was a malignant spirit, especially if you were married to a farmer, and the farmer farmed on Saturday rather than to go to church. So there are many things that we know, not just through spirit, but through DNA and through our past lives. There are things that come to us, whether we're walking down the street and something says, don't walk down that way, or we're driving our car and something tells you, be careful, or you see someone and automatically that, oh my God, I'm going to get into an argument with this person, so let me avoid it. But then if you don't avoid it and it happens, you're like, you know what, I should have done that. So, we're living right now in really hard times. There's a lot of things happening in the world. The world is very angry. People are very angry. People are very upset. People, the lack of food, the lack of finances, the lack of homes, there's a lot of things happening. And because these things are happening to us, a lot of people have this image within themselves that it's easier to blame other people rather than to blame themselves. And people need to learn that they need to take ownership for their own responsibility, and stop blaming other people. And sometimes, yes, you can blame people, but at the end of the day, it's how you handle it. I was telling Dr. D that I ran across someone that lives here in Florida now, and well, they called, and I basically spoke to them, and they were like, well, I want to apologize. And I was like, there's no need to apologize, because I already forgiven you a long time ago, but we're not friends. We really have nothing to talk to each other about. And I meant it. I wasn't trying to be cruel. I was just following what my spirit was telling me, which was if you reconnect yourself with this person, the only result is going to be not what it happened, but it's going to be worse. So you know what? I don't want to live in a reality where everything that happens to me is happening because I should have made better choices. No, I want to be able to make the choice from day one. I want to be able to accept the choice that I made, and I want to be able to move forward without looking backwards or without feeling as if what I did was so harmful. You know, I do this thing that, you know, that I do. Dr. D knows about it, and a few people know about it, which I find it to be a lot easier than praying every day, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I live in your gratitude, I live in the gratitude of everything that you have provided and you continue to provide. Thank you. And may I have some more, please? Now, that is my version of Ponopono. Ponopono is just, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. I decided to add more because I am grateful for everything that I have. I live in gratitude for what the universe provides for me. And I am grateful for the presence of the omnipresent. So, because I am grateful for all those things and because I live in gratitude, I have to acknowledge the things that I cannot change. And one of the things that I would never want to change is how I feel inside and how I know that the minute that I am given something or an intuition kicks in, that I am able to say, thank you, Spirit, for giving me this information. And thank you, universe, for guiding me and continuously keeping me aligned with myself. At the end of the day, it works for me, and I wish it to work for you as well. Uh, being around Dr. D, there's been a lot of things happening in my life that are not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. But I was actually consumed by it, and I wasn't afraid to admit it because basically Dr. D's thing was if that's what you feel it. If that's what own it. Okay, I did that. But then by doing that, I also realized that by doing that, I took ownership of stuff that was going on in my life, and I was able to let it go and realize that my life is wonderful. There's nothing wrong in my life except that little part, and even that has a solution. And like she says, you know, listen to the process. You know what I'm saying? And understand that, you know, just go with the process. Just be still and go with the process. No matter what it is, there's always darkness before there's light. I know this. But sometimes, no matter how religious you are and no matter how gifted you are, you still have doubt. And that's not uncommon for human beings, But like I said the last time, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So by acknowledging that, you acknowledge that everything that you're being guided to do, it's coming from an omnipresence that's much higher than us. So we have to trust the process, whether it takes a day, 2 days, a week, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. We have to not fear to speak our mind. We have to not fear to sit back and just let the process work for us, because it will always do what it has to do, and it will always work for us one way or the other. There are designers who design who have tripped and fell, but you know what? When they trip and fall over a garment, and maybe they make a rip and they add something else to the garment, they realize that maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe that what was supposed to be on the garment, and that's what was supposed to make it special. People who write sometimes write an article or write a paragraph in there in the process of writing, and you think that you actually wrote it, but you don't remember writing it. You just remember that you wrote it. Sometimes it's not about you writing it. Sometimes it's about spirit writing it and spirit keeping everything in the moment. And again, it's a process, and we have to understand the process, and we have to listen to the process, and we have to just acknowledge that there is a process, and we have to be still and allow the process to move forward in order for us to heal. Now, I know that there are a lot of things that need to be fixed in this world, and there's a lot of things in this world that are not as positive as we would like them to be. But sometimes we have to understand that these things that are coming our way are coming because we need to understand that we are powerful beings and that we deserve everything that we get our way. So we have to sometimes remove all the negativity. Sometimes we have to continue to move forward. Sometimes we have to continue to believe that we are powerful enough to let go of these things. But if you constantly doubt who you are, you're never going to make anything happen. You're going to keep yourself just lingering in limbo, not be happy. You're going to be keeping yourself stuck, not being happy. And you're going to keep yourself moving around like a dog chasing its tail, following the same direction that you were following, and keeping yourself in the same moving in the same direction, doing the same exact thing, and not doing anything positive for yourself. So it is time that you listen to that inner voice and stop saying, when you call me for readings or you do, I don't know what's going on. Well, you don't know what's going on because you're not trusting the process that's happening in your life. Life, if you need a job and you're constantly complaining, I don't want this job, I need this job, I don't want this job, I hate this job, I hate this job, you're not going to find anything new. It's when you stop complaining about what you hate that the process changes. But if you're going to sit home and you're going to expect things to come, then that's the way it is. Why are all things happening now? It seems like one after another after another. Yes, uh, I will tell you this, Sadia. We are living in times where church and state are connecting again. And that is a very dangerous time. We're living in dangerous times because when church and state get together, they both become very critical. And it doesn't become one critical of the other. It becomes both of them become critical of everything that they don't like, because they're not being guided by spirit. They're being guided by ego. Now, we talked about ego last week. So ego takes many forms, but people who like power, hi Corales, welcome to the show. People that are in power, they get so enthralled with power that they lose themselves, and all they want is they think that they're powerful, and they're not looking at the point that it's not about being powerful, it's about power. You want to avoid being so enthralled with power and understand that you are already powerful. You don't have to look for anybody's co-signment to become powerful. We are powerful beings because that is the way that we were created. We were created as machines. The body is a machine that is guided by spirit, and the machine could be healed by using the technology that spirit tells you that you are able to use to move forward. But sometimes we become lazy and we don't trust the process of healing. We want to do everything, but we expect everything. See, we want to do everything, but we do nothing, and then we expect everything, and then nothing happens. So the key is raising your vibration by keeping yourself prayed up, by keeping yourself in meditation, by keeping yourself positive. Yes, it is like a never-ending process, Corradi. You're right. It is a never-ending process. But you know what? If you don't think, again, and I want to say this, I do Ponopono because I believe that Ponopono is a direct line between me and the Creator. This Our Father who art in heaven, that to me is a prayer. But it's more than a prayer. It is a love letter from Christ to God, from one of God's children to God directly. Our Father, you who live in heaven, hallowed be our name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So it's thy kingdom, which is not my kingdom, thy kingdom, the Creator's kingdom. Thy will be done on earth, here, as it is in heaven. And it continues, right? Give us today our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. I don't particularly agree with that because I can't be forgiving people because I'm not Christ. What I can do is I can do one better. I can ignore them and I can heal me. So I find that Ponopono is a prayer that is used by Hawaiians and no,
I
what is it?
no. I
What
gotta
is it?
interrupt that.
Okay, where's
Ho'oponopono
Ponopono from?
was just something somebody created, and see, I lived in Hawaii for a while. So when I said that, they said no, it's not, because some people would say it's part of Huna, and it's not.
Okay,
Huna is part of the Hawaiian legend. It's someone that made it, and he was doing this because he was a psychiatrist. He worked in a prison in Hawaii, and he wanted to change the energy in that setting. So
okay,
he
but did it
started
work?
saying it worked, yeah, just like Reiki.
Okay. Well,
So
guys,
yes.
like I said earlier, for those who weren't listening, Pono, okay, I didn't know the history of it. She just gave you the history of it. Now, I find it to be easier to wake up every morning and say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And I personally say, I live in gratitude. I live in your gratitude for what you provide each and every single day. Thank you. And may I have some more. Why? Because, you know, um, actually, yeah, because the Colombian girl across from me, she is Colombian and she studied Reiki. She's a Reiki master. And I said, mentioned Ponopono to her, she knew what it was. And she said, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. So I realized that by saying this, and although I added my part to it, I realized that one, it gives me peace of mind. Two, it gives me strength. Three, it gives me courage. And four, it continuously makes my cup to continue to run it over. So even in my lowest moments, when I do say Ponopono and I continuously say it on a regular basis, morning and night, I find myself being prayed up in seconds. And I find that peace in my life and in my heart. Yeah, the topic for today is when you know what you know. And it is about listening to intuition, not letting anything get in your way where you are distracted from knowing what you know. You can be having a conversation with your mother, and your mother can tell you something that it doesn't resonate with your spirit. What do? Do you tell her she's wrong, or do you just continue to keep going on with your business? I just think that it's easier to avoid arguments with people and just continue to listen to you. You can take their advice, but I mean, you don't have to take their advice. You can listen to it, but you're not obligated to take anybody's advice, because that is the beauty about being who you are. Being a spiritual being is not having to need a cosign, a cosigner for anything in your life. For being strong and keeping yourself strong and keeping yourself moving with the understanding that you have the power to do anything that you want to do, and to know that there is an omnipresence, okay, of many gods that surround us with many belief systems and many things, because I can't say there is one God above all when this planet is just one small planet that is surrounded by an advanced universe that contains so many other type of people in that world. In these worlds there are many different types of people, and you don't know what they believe in. We don't know what they believe in, so to me, there are multiple gods in the world, and that's because the world, it's not the United States of America. It's not the planet Earth. I'm talking about the universe itself. So because the universe is so vast, there are a lot of things happening, because the planets are shifting, and this planet is in retrograde when this other planet should be in retrograde, and the sun is moving closer, and then the moon seems to be moving closer. There's so many things that are coming closer, that it's interfering with the vibrations, and some people's vibrations are so low because they are low. They're low energy people. They themselves feel sorry for themselves, and they want you to feel sorry for them. And by doing so, what you're doing is you're activating an energy within them by giving them power, and then they're becoming more and more codependent on the negativity, that they start to create crimes and hurt people, because hurt people hurt
Hurt.
people. And it is what it is. You can't change people for who they are if they're not willing to make the change. They have to be willing to make a change within themselves in order for you to see progress. But it starts with you first. You have to first make a change within yourself. You have to want to change the way you think. You have to be the one to think how you will want to be treated, and start acting on that, instead of looking at someone who comes to you, whether it's your boss or your friend or your husband or your wife, and they come to you with problems, or arguing or whatever. You have to be the one that's strong enough to say, whatever it is you're going through, I would appreciate it if you can sit down with me and explain it to me, so that we can sit down together and find a solution, rather than you yelling and being so angry all the time. And if you do that, you'll start to understand that you have an ability within yourself to create a masterpiece within your heart. And you can paint a masterpiece in any color you want, or in many colors that you want. You can bring light to your own heart when the heart needs it. You can bring peace of mind to your heart, to your mind, and to your soul, only if you know what you know, and you continue, if you continue continuously keeping yourself prayed up, or doing pono, or listen to meditation music, or keeping yourself focused, or keeping yourself in the Zen mode, or sitting back before you open your mouth and analyze every word that's going to come out of your mouth before you open your mouth. Because, one thing that I say, and I keep repeating it again, ignore the ignorance of the ignorant. And I think it's very important that we realize that as human beings, we can become very ignorant when we don't think, and we can become very ignorant when we think that we're always right. I didn't know the origin of Pono. I believed that Pono came from Hawaii. But now Dr. D gave me the origin of where Pono came from. But I do know one thing. I do know that it works.
Right.
And if you think about it, think about this. You wake up in the morning and you're saying, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're sorry for anything that you did the night before and for anything that you're going to do today that you may not have control of. Please forgive me. You're asking for forgiveness today, not just for today, but for what you did yesterday and for what you're about to do. I love you. Because if you walk in light and if you are a Christian and you believe that, and that is your way, then you know what? To believe and love Christ, that is your way. If you just believe in God and you're Muslim or you're Jewish and your other different types where you believe in God and you believe in the higher power of God, then you love the Lord. And for people who are spiritual, you believe in angels, spirit angels and guides, then you're believing in your spirit angels and guides. Again, it's the omnipresence of something that is much bigger than you. So therefore, whichever way you choose, one thing that people forget, you can pray the Our Father all you want, but if you are not giving gratitude to the universe, that you're grateful, I live in gratitude each and every single day for all that you do and all that you provide for me each and every single day. And I thank you for the financial blessings that come from all different directions. Thank you. And may I have some more, because it is okay to ask for more. There's nothing wrong with asking for more. So if you keep yourself moving in the positive energy, then you will realize that many things can actually, you start to see all these tragedies, but then you can start to see the tragedies in your heart closing up.
Could I say something?
Go ahead, right? Go right ahead. I'm looking for a meditation. I'm looking for a
O-
meditation song.
Okay. So what I wanted to say, sometimes we look for things, we know what we know. So you visualize something how you think it's going to go. And it doesn't necessarily go how you think. And you're asking for something, and it might come in a different direction, or I'll say delivered in another package. You know what I mean? Like, I want this, okay, I want this money. And the money can come in different ways. It can come in a check, it can come in someone blessing you, it can come in you finding money. These are ways that you said what you want, you put it out there, you see it, and the vision. But sometimes we get so caught up in how it comes about and how we think it should come about that we don't accept the process. You get
Amen.
what I'm saying? So just because you want something and it doesn't happen the way you think, don't reject it. Don't think it been rejected. It just might be coming another way. So
Amen.
that's for me, is saying when you know what you know, trust. Really trust in it and not waver. Because once you waver, you bring that what you're asking for back down or out of existence. To me, you cancel it. So you start all over again because you didn't have faith. I don't know. What is your thought on that?
Well, I don't. You know what? I don't think that it has anything to do with faith. I think it has to do with the fact that we lose the belief in ourselves, and it is, and because it's of, if it's of nature, we are taught to believe that fear is okay. And fear is good sometimes because it keeps your adrenaline pumping, but sometimes fear is not okay. Sometimes to fear something is to fear yourself. So I believe, like she said, when you mess up and when you feel like you want something and then you give up, you know, there's nothing wrong with starting over. There's nothing wrong. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
I
There's
100%. I
yeah.
agree with that. You just
There's
go
no
back and just picked up where you left off. At least that's
yes.
what I do.
You
And
start
I
from the
don't.
beginning.
There you go. Because everything is not going to be like I see it. I might see it one way, and it might be coming from another way. So I got to be open to receive it. I said
However
I
it
leave
comes.
myself open to receive in the blessings on how you want me to receive it, and not me put my judgment and block what I want with me, you know, not trusting. That's the word. Trusting in myself. Trust in myself and trust in, again, trust in the process. Trust in the process.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah. Trust in the process and trust in yourselves. You guys, I have a treat for you today. I'm going to play this meditation, and for you people, my people who I love so much, you know that I always try to give you a treat. So I'm going to play this meditation, which is an angel frequency. It's for love. It's a love frequency. It's a healing frequency, to remove the past, um, and to fill your heart with love and light, because it is so important that we keep ourselves going in light and love. I want you to take a deep breath, guys, and I want you to hold it for a couple of seconds. I don't want you to close your eyes yet. I want you to hold it for a couple of seconds, count to 10, and then I want you to release it slowly. I want you to shake your head so that you can then take another deep breath. I want you to count to 10 slowly, and then I want you to release again. I want you to shake your head again, and I want you to tap on your what do you call that?
Your third
The
eye
third eye. Yeah, the third eye.
for it.
And in your crown chakra, I want you to tap on that as well. And then I want you to release it. And then I want you to take the last deep breath, close your eyes this time, count to 10, and then release it slowly. Okay? This meditation is for love. It is for love. It is a frequency, a love frequency to heal the past and to manifest abundance, love, and harmony in this present time. Hold on just 1 second. Let me just. Okay, guys, take a deep breath, release it, let it go. Dr. D, Dr. D, did you fall asleep?
No, I did not fall asleep.
Okay. Well,
Ow.
um, we have a few minutes, and then of course it's like a minute and so of commercial.
Okay.
So I would like for you to do the ending. The ending. Anything you want to add for this class today?
Okay. Well, there was talking about when you're knowing. Your Do you feel your body knows? Okay, certain melodies bring certain emotions. So you're watching something and you begin to cry. Is that you knowing, remembering something for that period you feel?
Um,
It's like, and it's not just,
sometimes
okay,
it's
it
the,
could be
sometimes it's
certain
the,
melodies. You know what I mean?
sometimes it's
Like,
the past life thing. Sometimes it's a
okay,
past life thing. So
okay.
I think I think it comes from there. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
That was a thought that what was the spiritual connection for certain music that might make you cry or unexpectedly, you know what I mean, or laugh. And it was when, okay, say you're listening to the music and your brain feels stimulated. I guess the whole top of your head down to your crown, and then next thing is like a release.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking. Okay, I'm explaining a situation.
Okay. I'm listening.
There's the person sitting there, uh, and they wanted to know the significance of them. They're sitting there listening to the music, but as the music goes, you can feel the vibration from their third eye all the way to the stimulation of the brain all the way down their spine. But after it feels like a release, but then there's tears
But that's the
at the same
endorphins in
time.
your body. But that's the endorphins in your body that do that automatically. That does that. The endorphins in your body does that automatically because the brain itself is telling you how to think about things or how to feel. So that's not you know scientists for the longest time don't really know they really don't know how the brain really does work.
Hmm.
You know, so I just think that it is a lot of this has to do with what do you call it? The brain. The brain does what it does,
Hmm.
and sometimes you have to know that there people think that there is a difference between science and religion. I don't believe that there is any difference between science and religion. I believe that they're both one connect together. I think that the whole idea of spirituality is a scientific thing in our brain
Hmm.
within ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
It
I
was
mean
just a
that's
thing
just the
about.
way. Yeah, that's just. I mean, there's a lot of things that we as spiritual beings don't understand yet, but we do know that there are certain vibrations that we do enjoy, and that
Hmm.
is what we have to keep in ourselves, within ourselves, that we enjoy certain things, and the melody that we hear, that melody is what's going to keep us moving in the direction that we need to go. and that's what the knowing was about. You know what you know. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
was about. That we know what we know, and we have to keep ourselves moving in the direction that we know how. So
Okay.
that's what it's about.
Makes
But I
sense.
want you to to put in some input, some word of wisdom like you give me when I'm feeling kind of like messed up, you know?
Well, first of all, I tell everybody like take a time out for yourself. Everybody like if you can take a time out for yourself, even if it's just for 5 minutes at your job or whatever you're doing, or if you're going through something, tell somebody, hold up, I'll be right back. Even if you have to slip in the bathroom, take a deep breath, remove yourself from the situation, and just, okay, ask yourself what I do. What am I learning from this experience? What am I growing from this situation? Is this relevant to my growth? Is this going to help me? Or is this something going to detract from me? And if it's going to detract from me, I ask Spirit to remove it. And if it's going to make me grow, I got to look at how do I face it without the anger, the frustration, because that you can understand that you're going through the process, but it is frustrating. How to get through the frustration and just say, okay, it is. And sometimes it takes repeating. I am through this. Now I'm going to get through it. I am through this. I am through this. I am through this. I am through this. I'm there and I thank you. I'm there and I thank you. Saying it, ashe, 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 ashe. As I'm talking, my ear is ringing. Only
Yeah,
me, right?
no, because that's the way the spirit is. Spirit will give you the information you need. You just have to listen.
hmm So
You know?
I just say, like I said, just walk knowing you are a high vibrating being. And that's what we sometimes don't realize how high we actually vibrate. And laughter, the sound of laughter is the beautifulest, wonderfulest vibration. Listening to a baby laugh. If you ever feel sad, pull up a YouTube video and listen to a child laugh. That will touch your spirit, your soul, and you in so many different ways that it helps. It begins the healing process. I think we all should laugh at least once a day, if you can. Now, I'm not saying, life is going to be grandiose all the time, but laugh. Sometimes that laughter is the medicine you need. And sometimes when you're laughing and someone else hears you laugh, they begin to laugh because they needed that. Because you might be somebody else's medicine. Your life, my life, everybody's life is medicine for themselves and sometimes for others. And that is my wisdom. I hope you receive it.
How they do? Go to commercial and says tomorrow I'll talk to you, and we could talk about what we're going to finish that conversation about what we were talking about.
Earlier.
This. Okay.
Okay. All
Have a
right.
good night, everyone. Love you so much, all of you. Light and love to all of you. I sent the meditation. I sent it to you, Dr. D, as well. I sent the
Uh-huh.
meditation, today's music for today. Please listen to it. It is very important so that you guys can let go and let love in and let what you know in. So today's lesson was know what you know. So listen to the music so that you can know what you know. Love and light to all. Be blessed and talk to you next Monday.
Alchemy Network. Food Alchemy Network. Worth watching. Metaphysical Vortex Channel. Interactive metaphysic information. Map of the mind and body and soul. Intuitive Life Coach Ori. Get your reading today. Author, reader, mentor, spiritual guidance, life coach. Books are available on Blur and Lulu. Ori, your host of Coffee with Ori. Where are you in your life? Ask Ori, and he's sure to tell you. Get a one-on-one session with Ori. This is Food Alchemy Network. I am Dr. D, and I want to say toodles to all and be